Just 2 hours ago, Allied air forces began an attack on military targets in Iraq and Kuwait. These attacks continue as I speak.
On Friday, I ordered our forces to launch a cruise missile attack on the Iraqi Intelligence Service's principal command and control facility in Baghdad.
U.S. Special Operations Forces executed a dangerous and daring nighttime raid in northwestern Syria and accomplished their mission in grand style.
Remember this? This is how a superpower behaves. When a superpower uses military force against an enemy, it's time to inform the American people. It's time to lay out the stakes. It's time to lead. It's pretty much a no-brainer, right? Unless you're Joe Biden. It's been remarkable, but ever since that operation, a couple of paper statements, some mutterings from a press secretary, something from the Pentagon, but Joe doesn't want to talk about this. Joe has said virtually nothing, and it's weird. It's very strange. I have a theory about what's going on here. Can you wait for a moment until I tell you? Because it's good. I will tell you this. He's got plenty of energy to bash MAGA, although he even seems to be getting tired of doing that.
The only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends. Trump and the MAGA Republicans said no, because they're afraid of Donald Trump. This guy's saying his MAGA Republican friends want to repeal the historic climate legislation I got passed. Trump and his MAGA friends are determined to take away your freedoms, like the freedom to vote. Trump and his MAGA friends are dividing us, not uniting us.
He's barely trying, right? No way he's making it to November. Sorry, they're going to make a change, obviously, right? But the important thing is, besides all of his other deficiencies, he's not a leader, all right? Doesn't know how to lead. And he's unworthy, for that reason, of the presidency. Many, many other things wrong with him, but he does not know how to lead. Now, Tower 22, that's where our soldiers were hit, right? Our 3 soldiers were killed there in that attack in Jordan. Now, that was devastating. What's more important, Tower 22 or a discotheque? I mean, looks like the Tower 22 place is far more important, serious, and significant. But I want to focus on the discotheque for a moment. A discotheque in West Berlin, Germany, all the way back in 1986.
For the second time this week, Americans have been the victims of a terrorist attack in Europe. This time, the target was a nightclub in West Berlin, a favorite of American soldiers. A bomb exploded there overnight. 2 people were killed, one of them an American. Scores were wounded. Don Cladstrip now with our report.
Little was left of the West Berlin disco, devastated by a bomb while the club was packed with several hundred persons. Over 150 were injured, about 70 of them American servicemen. 1 U.S. soldier and a young Turkish woman were killed. Authorities speculate that someone planted the bomb under a table near the dance floor.
I remember this when it happened. I was in high school, and I remember, well, there were a lot of bombings going on all over the world. It was terrible, but it didn't have the whole country at the edge of their seat. It didn't. It was tied, however, to Muammar Gaddafi. Remember that guy? And we hit him hard. We hit Libya within 10 days of that bombing with precision munitions, F-111s, A-6 intruders off of carriers, out of Air Force bases in England. We pounded Libya, and Ronald Reagan, the President of the United States, let Gaddafi know and the whole world know, you don't mess with us.
On April 5th, in West Berlin, a terrorist bomb exploded in a nightclub frequented by American servicemen. Sergeant Kenneth Ford and a young Turkish woman were killed, and 230 others were wounded, among them some 50 American military personnel. This monstrous brutality is but the latest act in Colonel Gaddafi's reign of terror. The evidence is now conclusive that the terrorist bombing of La Belle Discotheque was planned and executed under the direct orders of the Libyan regime.
1 Army sergeant is killed in a country that is not Libya. and we take such decisive action. It's amazing. And he actually says, a discotheque, right? They messed with the wrong people. Keep going.
Colonel Gaddafi is not only an enemy of the United States. His record of subversion and aggression against the neighboring states in Africa is well documented and well known. He has ordered the murder of fellow Libyans in countless countries. He has sanctioned acts of terror in Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, as well as the Western Hemisphere. Today, we have done what we had to do. If necessary, we shall do it again.
Iran is doing all that and worse, and on the verge of gaining nuclear weaponry. Huh? Next.
There is no security, no safety in the appeasement of evil. It must be the core of Western policy that there be no sanctuary for terror. And to sustain such a policy, free men and free nations must unite and work together.
You compare this to Joe and his administration going around, we don't want any conflict. We don't want any problems here. One more from the Gipper.
Despite our repeated warnings, Gaddafi continued his reckless policy of intimidation, his relentless pursuit of terror. He counted on America to be passive. He counted wrong.
America today is passive, not a leader. Gosh, we were blessed, so blessed. And that's how he won 49 states, right? That's leadership. Leadership. America deserves leadership. Instead, we have a small-time politician who got lucky and very weird. Joe Biden, from one of the smallest states in the country, got something like 100,000 votes when he was 29 years old because he had nothing to lose. Why not run for the Senate? And look at him now, and look at us now. You know, this is a pretty amazing moment when Joe Biden meets Ronald Reagan for the first time. Joe Biden shouldn't even be in the same room. He's not even in the same hemisphere as Ronald Reagan in terms of ability. But watch his body language. He thinks they're buddies or peers.
President Joe Biden, how are you? Nice to see you. Nice of you to see you.
Come in here. Looking forward to this. Why don't you take a chair?
How are relations going?
I'd be very happy to have that.
I think I'm looking forward to helping on this one, too.
Well, bless your heart.
That's it. A big smile. Nothing going on upstairs. Doing a fair amount of mimicry, right? Acts like an important person, but that is all he had to deliver. And I have to do one more thing when it comes to Ronald Reagan, one of my favorites, and this guy. Remember when the Coast Guard Academy commencement speech? Ronald Reagan and Joe Biden had the same opportunity, and they delivered the same joke. One knew how to do it, one didn't.
My Coast Guard aides have been excellent. One of them taught me that, and I quote, "The Coast Guard is that hard nucleus about which the Navy forms in time of war."
I can only assume that you will enjoy educating your family about how the Coast Guard is, quote, "the hard nucleus around the Navy forms in times of war." You're a really dull class. I mean, come on, man. Is the sun getting to you? I would think you'd have an opportunity when I say that about the Navy to clap, but being here together.
So he botches the joke, insults the audience, blames the audience for not getting the joke that he screwed up. You can see, right? I mean, the presidency has fallen off of a cliff. So he's unworthy, right? And here's my theory. There's a really, really strong chance that Joe is seriously compromised when it comes to China. Let's just limit it to China. You know, Hunter went over there and all those arrangements and all the money coming in, the WhatsApp message, and I'm here with my father, and the keys to the office, and it's crazy, crazy stuff. I know that China is close to Iran and getting closer. Is it at least conceivable that China telegraphed somehow to Joe to go easy on Iran, or else we could really complicate your life? This is why you don't want presidents compromised. And there is a damn good chance that he is. All right, I'll be right back.